This is Kyle Carroll here with MyMMAnews.com. I'm here with Jamie Butcher. Thanks, Jamie, for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your fight coming up.
Yes, I'm fighting a girl. I'm pretty sure her name is Haley because it's been changed a couple times, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure her name is Haley. She's coming over from England, so it's very exciting, and yeah, it's going to be a good match.
Excellent. And I understand Haley Boot's a pretty tough girl. She's got pretty decent footwork. Though you have some, you're a long, lanky fighter. You keep people at bay. Without, I guess, giving away your strategy, tell us a little bit how you fought people from England before. How it's different from fighting people in the U.S.
You know, the English fighters have a very different approach to kickboxing than a lot of United States fighters. A lot of fighters in the United States kind of start from like a Muay Thai or traditional karate background, and then which the both are very different, but like a Muay Thai background is very different from like the, I would say, traditional kickboxing style of what they do in England. So they're typically a little bit less square, a little bit more kind of like American kickboxing style, and they throw typically a higher volume of strikes.
Okay, and now does the higher volume ever affect you, or is that something that you rather be more patient or kind of throw that higher volume?
You know, looking back on my fight from last year, I think a higher volume, higher pace fight is kind of the way to go against fighters of this style, and I'm really excited because I've been working on a lot of things. Last year I didn't throw as much as I would have liked to, so this year I think I'm going to kind of step it up and take it to a different angle with them.
Awesome, and now you're a veteran on Team USA, I guess you could say. This is your first or second fight? Because I know you fought once before on Team USA, right?
Yeah, this is the second then.
So you're saying, but what does it mean to you to be on Team USA, but not only on it, you're on it for the second time?
Well, I'm happy to be invited back, Bobby. If you want to see me next year, you know where to look. You know, the whole experience is totally exciting because you get people coming over from England. It's totally new experiencing from them. They're visiting New York. They're enjoying the atmosphere. But ultimately, it's an international fight in your backyard. So it's really just a cool experience to be a part of something without having to, jump on a plane, jump on a train, jump in a car, whatever.
Awesome. And now tell us a little bit about the gym you train at. I know you trained up a little upstate where you were going to school, as well as on Long Island. But tell us now, after school, where you're training and who you're training with.
Well, it's been great being more local, I have to say. I spar all the time down with Tommy Batone and Timmy. I spar down at their school all the time. But primarily right now I'm training out of Port Jeff in Journey Martial Arts and Comac in Comac MMA. So I'm really kind of still all over the place, but more, localized.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about, now that you finished and graduated from school, how having more time, how it's improved or changed your way of, training and fighting and leading up to this fight?
Absolutely. Back when I was at school, I had a lot of great sparring partners upstate, but the ones who I really wanted to spar with, who were my sex and my age class and my weight class, were primarily down here and in the city. So a lot of times I would drive like 3-4 hours and then go straight from that drive into a sparring session or go straight from that drive into a training session. And it really wore me down, over like the 2 years that I was doing it, it really just kind of took it out of me. Now I have the proper time to train and recover, and I don't have to travel as far. And so I'm finding a lot more time to do things that I enjoy in addition to kickboxing, like jiu-jitsu and training for triathlons and things like that. So.
Awesome. I know you mentioned training for triathlons. How do you believe that's going to help improve your fighting game?
I kind of looked at cycling before and scoffed at it, but honestly, cycling is one of the best trainings that you can have because if you're going, especially on like hilly routes, you push up the hill, that's a round. You come down the hill, that's your rest. There's a lot of high variation and high intensity that you can put into your own training that really translates for me into kickboxing.
Excellent. And I assume cycling and swimming and everything kind of adds to less joint pressure and stuff.
Absolutely. Swimming is great recovery. It's great active rest, especially on days that you're not going hard or like lifting or anything. And cycling, a lot of people get so stuck in their ways of doing road work all the time and just really wearing down on their knees and their ankles and their joints. Just like you said, cycling kind of takes the pressure off of that. Still working your legs, still working your cardio, but you're just changing it up. You're not always doing the same thing.
Awesome. I understand. I believe last time we were talking about diet and the vegan lifestyle. Are you still living by the vegan lifestyle?
I'm still going strong.
How do you feel that's now even more time doing it? How do you feel that's helped your weight loss or weight cut, I should say?
Weight cuts have always been pretty easy for me, so I really can't complain. But, it just goes, my performance, I feel like, is always better when I'm eating like whole, real foods. You know what I mean? Just like when I'm really eating like plants, vegetables, fruits, beans, legumes, I just feel like, properly fueled, and sometimes, especially when I look back at my earlier years, when I wasn't training as hard, admittedly, but, when I was eating more crap and like animal-based products, it just slows you down, in my opinion, from my experience. Everyone's different, but I felt like very sluggish and kind of slowed down, and sometimes I wasn't really ready to train, but I feel good, I feel happy to get up and get food in my body and really put it to use.
Awesome. Now, leading into Team USA, it's your second one. Is there any pressure on you to get this win? Any added pressure being on Team USA?
Certainly I'm always looking for the win, and even more so now because, last year I didn't come out with it. But I put that pressure on myself for every fight. So I wouldn't say there's more added pressure, rather than the pressure's always on, and I always feel it.
What are your future goals from here after April 15th? What are your plans to continue fighting on the amateur level, or do you want to take it to the professional level?
I always told myself, if I come out of a fight with at least like 5 to 10 things that are major that I really want to work on, that I would keep it in the amateur ring. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I really want to evaluate myself on a fight-to-fight basis. If I feel after a fight that I'm like, wow, this really might have been a sign that I'm ready to take it to the next level, then I will. But at this point, I think there's still a lot for me to work on. I still want to play around with jiu-jitsu. I'm toying with the idea of, fighting in MMA. So I don't really want to push myself to the next level where I couldn't, do an amateur MMA fight or something like that. So
okay, all
right now I'm happy where I am.
Awesome. So tell us how that's been. You were talking about possibly down the road transitioning. How would you go about transitioning?
Well, right now I'm working over at Comac. I'm working with the two Toms, Tom Muller and Tom English, and really just kind of building myself from the base up. I don't necessarily feel that there's a rush for me. I'm really just enjoying learning a new martial art and enjoying the process. And if it happens to matriculate into something that I can do in the ring, I would love that. But if not, then I'm enjoying learning jiu-jitsu. I'm enjoying getting my butt beat on the ground instead of standing up.
Awesome. And tell us, I guess, a little bit about your support system. You're getting sponsors, your family, friends supporting you?
Oh, my family is great. My family is surprisingly always supporting me, from a family who doesn't necessarily have a background in fighting, or doesn't there's no really fighters in my family. They kind of.
You're the pioneer in your
family. I'm the pioneer woman here. But for being in a sport that they may not necessarily understand, they have been amazing. They've really supported me. My friends as well. And yeah, I'm always, I'm not personally someone who aggressively seeks sponsorship, but I'm always, looking out for companies that I like, that I think have good messages and things like that. There's a particular plant-based protein company. It's called Clean Machine, and I really like what they're doing, and I'm kind of chatting with them, and so I'm taking my time here, but I'm open. Obviously, Bad Chicks MMA.
Bad Chicks MMA. I believe they're also sponsoring all the female fighters, right, with gear for the.
They are. They're awesome.
Pretty
yeah.
Awesome. I guess about you that fans don't know that you would like to share with them.
Gosh, anything about me then? I think the main thing that pushes me as a person, and I don't know if people know this about me or not. Yes, I enjoy fighting and I love fighting, but I'm ridiculously committed to improving my local community. I love cleanups and community gardens and community events, and I love building the people around me on a local level. And I really love to engage more these kind of interviews are awesome because you're bringing Long Island folks down. Everyone's coming into Campbell's kickboxing, and really building a sense of, all right, this is the fight community. I love to extend that to different parts, different organizations on Long Island, within Long Island, and kind of supporting each other.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that because there's a lot of interconnections between either sponsors or people who go to fights and MMA fighters or not martial artists like yourself, a kickboxer, with the different community, businesses, how they can help you can help them. Is there any particular products or anything you use or anything that you help specifically from the area to train?
I mean, there's a great cafe. If you're ever in Port Jeff, there's a great cafe called Tiger Lily's Cafe, and they've got great vegan, vegetarian stuff. But all in all, there's another great cycle company near Comac. It's called the Cycle Co. But other than that, I wouldn't say there's specifically any products that I use. Just kind of run around, get run over by cars on my bike. That's about it.
It was flooded everything recently with the nor'easters.
Oh my gosh.
Did that affect any of the businesses down there?
Luckily, we didn't really get any flooding, so I'm happy about that. But there definitely have been times where, the whole harbor is pretty much, underwater. So it's, it's always periods of growth and rebuilding and then growth again.
Definitely. And how can fans find you on social media if they want to follow your career?
You can find me best on Instagram. My handle is @Jamie_Lebt, Lebt. It's German for lives, so I live.
Oh, what's it German for?
Like living.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Jamie lives.
Awesome. All right.
And yeah, that's the best platform to find me on.
Awesome. Well, Jamie, thank you before I forget anything else. Thank you for taking your time, and wish you the best of luck at Team USA.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about how.
Oh, sorry. Tell you about my favorite color. Well, it's blue.
I need to start writing things down.
If this has been all from memory so far, it's been great.
Yeah, it has been. Tell us about. Where did I want to go?
No pressure.
It's gonna be a blooper reel.
That would be great. I would love to make I don't want them to be in the actual interview, but I want to be in the blooper reel. It's just me slipping.
Is there anything? Oh damn! I just had this question. There's definitely gonna be a blooper reel.
I just keep steering you off. I'm like, hey, let me take this question and go left with it. Yeah.
How can